What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, Something. Hit the keys. Here today to do a quick review and demonstration over FXEQ by iZotope. What is FXEQ, you may be asking? Well, it is a multi-effect that allows you to EQ each and every single effect differently. So let's go ahead, hop in, check this thing out. So when you open up FXEQ, this is what it's going to look like. I definitely have pros and cons with this plugin, so just stick around and I'll let you know all of those. But as you see here, you open it up, it's going to look like that. So as you're seeing this, each one of these different colors is a different effect, and it allows you to put that effect in different frequency ranges. So it allows for you to make clearer mixes and only use the part of a reverb or delay or whatever modulation from flanger to doubler to phaser that you want to use. It also has saturation and lo-fi in this thing too. So as always, I made a little sample beat using FXEQ. I'm going to play the sample beat, and then what I'm going to do is let you guys hear what I used FXEQ on each one of the sounds, because I basically used it on all the sounds. So this thing's not all the way mixed down, but let's go. All right, guys, so that's the little demo beat I put together for you guys today. Let's go ahead, hop back into FXEQ, check this thing out a little bit more. So what I kind of want to do is I want to just come to this chorus part real quick, and I'm going to play what all these sounds sounded like before I threw FXEQ on there, and then what it sounded like after. So you guys just heard the beat. So this is what the beat sounded like without any effects on there. I mean, so you could see there clear as day. I turned all the effects on. You heard the beat start changing. So you see, like the FXEQ did a whole lot with this beat as far as like adding different sounds and stuff like that. So let's just go ahead, start right here with the piano. As you see here, it's got a bunch of different presets. So, you know, you can go back through and it's got everything from bass to creative, guitar, key, synth, percussion, utilities, vocals, all that good stuff, right? So this is what the piano sounded like before I threw the FXEQ on there. Now, once I throw it on there, so pretty cool. It's doing a whole lot. It's giving it saturation, reverb, delay. I guess I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video. My bad. This thing's $49. But there's going to be a cross grade price for $39 if you have other iZotope stuff. So sorry, but I didn't say that at the beginning. I'm not going to hold y'all. One thing that I don't understand about this plugin is this little section right here. No matter what I do, I can't get this section to turn on. So I don't know if this is just because I have a beta version or whatever the case is, but that's an issue that I'm having too. It could be user error. I could just be I'm a dummy. Maybe I'm not on the right thing. I don't know. I clicked through all these, but I don't know how to get this to work. You know, so I don't know that. But with this thing too, as I'm saying, I'm showing you guys here, you know, you've got all kinds of different, you know what I'm saying? You can move this wherever you want to. So let's go ahead and turn off all of these other bands so that you can hear the difference between, you know, kind of what, let's use the delay so that you can hear what's going on with the delay. So you hear how it's changing the part of the reverse that it's using. Like if I have it down here, it's going to grab more of the lower frequency and add it into that delay for you. And then if I come down here, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of get the idea of this thing. Basically, this is geared up for you to be able to put your effects wherever you want to in the frequency spectrum. Obviously, you can make this bigger, you can make this smaller if you want to. You have options with this. You also have different shapes that you can choose between too as well. So you got a lot of options, a lot of different things. Let's go ahead and now turn this reverb on and throw this around a little bit too. So, I mean, that's fire in itself. The next sound that I used it on in this beat was this guitar. So the guitar initially sounded like this. It's the same pattern, but it sounded like this. All right, so then I turn bypass off and it sounds like this. There are a bunch of different presets in here though, so let's listen to just a couple of presets real quick while I'm on the guitar. So you've got stuff that some of this stuff is going to be really loud, you know, because you got stuff that's going to distort the guitar, stuff like that. So bring these down a little bit, see what it sounds like. You have different saturation types over here. So obviously you see you got just a bunch of different stuff that you can mess with all this grid on there. And then you have your oversampling over here. So you can turn on 4 times oversampling if you want. It's cool. You got different lo-fi sounds over here that you can use. Obviously, the classics between radio, cassette, vinyl, and tape. So, you know, that's cool too. Let's go ahead and check out the next sound real quick. So then the next sound, it really made a difference on this sound. Also, I believe there's a 10-day free trial on this. So I believe you can go into iZotope and try this thing out too. So that's something that you guys might want to take into account before you just go splurge, is that you can try it out and see if it's something for you. Because again, I have some more cons coming with this thing. So with this, here is the next sound I use it on, was just these basic bells. All right, so now if I bypass it though, and that really set this beat off, and I'll show you. All right, so then this is kind of how it set it off. I just reloaded the project. So listen to this melody before I add the FXEQ in there. And then all the extra delaying and all the other stuff really put this melody together for me. So like when you're listening, all that delay and the modulation with the chorus really made that part of the beat for me, because it just pulled everything together. Because I was gonna do another melody, but I didn't end up having to do another melody because it just allowed me to put everything together. Then another way that you can use this, you can use it on your kick. So this is kind of the kick that I had. Let's go ahead and bypass. Now we'll turn it on. So you can hear it added girth to that kick. You can use it on an 808. I did not use it on this 808, but I did find a preset that I do like. So this is what the 808 sounds like before you throw it on there, and then y'all see me when I turn it on with the bypass. But this is what the 808 initially sounded like. And you got a lot of control, like I'm saying, you got the different saturations and the modulation. So, you know, you could widen out your sound if you wanted to. So here I'm making it wider. I can still add other stuff to it too. So if I wanted to, I could add a little bit of tape to it. Let's add cassette. And here I'm easily changing this 808 and forming it to what I want it to be. But we could put this on. I don't know, man. I think this thing is really, really, really dope, bro. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. And then the last thing I used it on before I get to my cons, because I got some cons for this thing. I used it on this snare and this hi-hat. So on the snare and the hi-hat, it just was a basic pattern that sounded like this. Now once I turn it on, hey, fire, man, fire, fire, fire. So in my opinion, what do I honestly think about this tool? I think it's fire. You know, I have an issue with this right here. I don't know what this does. I don't know how to get this to turn on. I don't know how to get my gain to go up. You know, I don't know, you know. I've gone into settings. Um, you know, I just don't know. So I don't know what this section's for. So that's a con for me. And then the other biggest con that I have on this plugin is that it is super duper, super CPU intensive, right? Like iZotope, I rock with y'all. Y'all know I've been covering y'all for years. Y'all know I've been putting out videos, covering y'all's plugins, giving y'all's props, giving my honest opinion. But at some point, y'all have to figure out how to optimize some of these plugins, because I know this isn't just simple because it's EQ mixed in with different effects and all this other stuff. But there's no way that the CPU usage should be like this, right? So I just need y'all to understand this shit. Fam, I recorded a verse for this shit, right? Sorry for my language, man. I'm not mad, but I recorded a verse for this, and I can't even play y'all the verse because the CPU is so extensive and it just crackles the whole time. So I spent my time putting down a verse and all this stuff for this video that I can't even put out, because if I add one more instance of FXEQ onto my chains, it's gonna crackle. And then I can't add any effects for like EQ or compression or stuff like that I need to add for the vocals. Trust me, I tried. I've been here for an hour before this video trying to figure out how to get this together. So that's an issue. And then if you look here, so just being real with the CPU usage, you see how I exported all these tracks out? Well, I made all the melodies and all the stuff. These aren't samples and loops, but the CPU was so extensive. You see how it's sitting at 46 right now? I don't know if y'all can see that, because sometimes I don't know where the stuff be at, but it's at 44 with nothing playing, right? So I had to take off Piano V3, I had to take off Omnisphere, I take off Analog Labs, I had to take all that stuff off my channel rack. As you guys can see, none of that stuff's on my channel rack. I had to take it all off in order to be able to record this video. And then the amount of the instances of FXEQ that I have is that I have one on this Piano V3, I have one on Omnisphere, I got one on Analog Labs, I got one on the 808, I got another one on this piano, and then I have one on this drum bus, and another one on this drum bus. So I have seven instances of it, which I know is a lot of instances of a CPU heavy plugin, but I only have 7 instances, and I don't have anything else. I only have Emphasis on here, and this is a FL Studio plugin, so it doesn't take up no CPU really, you know? But that's all I have, and parametric EQ for the vocal. So that's all I have on all these slots. But it still won't allow me to play without crackling. So I know I spend a lot of time on that part, but that will just be my biggest beef with iZotope in general. Other than that, though, the plugin's fire, man. I would recommend it, you know, and like easy ways to get through the CPU usage is just simply exporting your stems out. Clearly, I couldn't export my stems out with the effects because the point of what I'm doing is a demonstration. But I mean, that's the easy solution. I do think this is a fire plugin, and I definitely think it has a place in your mixes and stuff like that. Is it a must-have? Maybe not for everybody, but is it something that would be dope in your arsenal for the $49? I absolutely think it would be. So, I mean, that's what I got for you guys in today's video. Make sure if you guys do like this content, though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button. Hit subscribe, that notification bell, so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some, hit the key.